Pretty nice offering from GrayStudios. I mean, to me, they killed it with this. This looks really good as well. Price is right. In stock is also really nice to have as well. If you guys aren't familiar with GrayStudios, they've been around a while, and they make, I don't want to say out there keyboards, but they make keyboards that are definitely a little bit more, maybe out of the norm is a better way to put it. It's a fun box. Definitely a little bit more stylized. Ambitious is a good way to use it too. Potter never disappoints in his presentation. So we have a hot swap PCB. Please test before assembly, which is awesome. And we'll go over the price here in a second too. We have hardware and gaskets and stuff. Everything's labeled, which has been a thing GrayStudios does forever, and I seriously appreciate that. It does look like a pogo pin connector, which is new for GrayStudios. Love to see that. We have foam, optional, which is really fun. I'm gonna put this in here. We have an FR4 plate, which I do believe there's a few different options for plate, but this one here is the FR4 plate. I like the color on this already. I think this is the concrete color, what Potter told me. This is a really, I guess this is technically an E-coating, right? That is, I don't know if the texture's coming through nicely on the camera. It's a powder coating. Ooh. Actually, this is quite a nice looking board. Tasteful hue of gray, yeah. There's that side profile. Again, very typical of what Potter has designed for GrayStudios. Very stylized. I've always liked this. I've always thought this was like my style if I didn't have to go for something more minimal and timeless. Actually, I like this little lip that's on the back over here. I think this little kind of foot almost looks really cool. Pogo pin connector over there, which might have to just readjust because I feel like it's kind of loose, but very cool. And we have push-in feet, it looks like, which is a nice touch too. Pricing on this will be $320 to start, and then if you want one of the powder coatings or the electrophoresis coatings, that will be $340. Not bad. Shipping will be a flat fee of $40 being DHL. I mean, it is what it is. You know what? I'd prefer to spend a little bit of extra money in shipping, knowing I'll get it in time and safely. Again, DHL has never let me down, so it does add to the cost of the board. But yeah, $320 is not bad for a starting price here. There are some interesting colorways. We have Quicksilver, which is anodized, which is a silver top and a silver bottom and a black badge. There's Top Gun, which is a cold gray color. There's Darth Vader, which is black. There's Peach Pink. I want to see what the pink ano looks like in person. Iceberg, ice blue, okay. Mecha 01 is purple. We have Tyrael, which is dark gold. I also want to see what that looks like. Concrete, which is what we have here, which is cement gray color. We have Gravel, which is a gravel color. We have Bruce Lee, which is a E-coated color, which is yellow. We have Storm, and we have Khaki. Very familiar colors that normally we see with GrayStudios. Some new ones, though. Do you think the board justifies the price? Well, judging based off of the parts that we have here, because the way I kind of look at it is, okay, how many pieces do we have, and then is the coatings all good, and what other pieces do you get inside the box? I think $320, just from not even building this yet, feels very fair. We have a top and a bottom piece. We have a bunch of accent stuff going on here. Daughter board plus a main board there. So I think $320 is very justified for this. It's a 1.2. You know what? I'm still happy with this. No flex cuts. Looks like we have a little LED indicator over here as well. Hot swap. So this is the only PCB they're going to be offering. It does look like we have some options to pick from here for choices. I'm happy with this. We don't have all the options in the world, but at least we get some different bottom rows and we get a step caps. Can't really ask for much more. I feel like this right here is what I consider like the bare minimum for what I prefer. And maybe not bare minimum, but like just this is nice. Like this is a good enough where you can choose your bottom and you can choose your caps lock. I don't think I'm going to use any foam on the plate config, by the way, for this. And there's the stabs installed. I think I'm going to use the foam, if I use foam, on the bottom. That's usually how I like building GrayStudios boards. Also, I love this little silicone wrap around the bit over here that they include. Less things to damage. How do we take... Oh, it's magnetic. Dude. I was literally about to go look at the build guide, Oak. That is nice. Cool. So that's the daughter board over there for the lights. This is one of the daughter boards. And then we have our pogo pins over here. Floating a little bit on the ribbon cable, which means we shouldn't have any hot spots, which is nice. There's a nice build guide on this too. So like usually some people don't do that. They don't include build guides, but I mean, this does have one, which is very, very nice. It is these ones, right? Okay. I just pressed a little bit more and got it in. All right, so that should just be the case. Now it should separate, right? Wonderful. It seems so much more complex, but it was actually pretty simple. I left a few screws out when I first did it. Yeah, this is actually extremely simple. The magnetic pieces are a cool touch. I didn't even realize that was magnetic. So the magnets are doing a really good job here. These here. So are these the small part up? The thicker side goes in the bottom. Okay, so we're doing it like this. It can be top mount or gasket. Yeah, I'm seeing the little top mount thingies on this too. The gaskets are a little awkward to get in. It's not like in the realm of impossible, just a little awkward. So the pointy part goes down. So it would kind of sit on these. Interesting. Very, very interesting gaskets. Then we're going to put these plate limiters in. So I've seen these in the GrayStudio boards before. This is nothing new. These essentially will stop the plate from shifting around. I've actually always really liked this about the GrayStudio boards. All right, so this is the gasket config, and then we'll open this back up and we'll do the top mount as well. I want to see how the LEDs look on this. Oh, those are nice. Very subtle. Those are some nice little accent LEDs in the back. And then we have a small LED on the top over here too. We've seen this on their last board as well, this kind of same styling. I think this feels a little bit more refined and a little bit more polished though. Also, as for a top mount, or I guess not, it's not top mount, sorry, as a front height, 19.6 millimeters, which is right around the range that I feel is the most pleasant. I believe the tip angle is 6 degrees, but let me see if it says on their website. I'm just making a guesstimate here. Let's see. And they're claiming a front height of about 19. I think it's a little taller than that. And let's take a look at that side profile one more time. There's that side profile in case you guys are wondering what it looks like. Very fun. In stock. Dude, this color, this concrete is very unique. I really like this concrete. Let's see how this sounds. So we're using the FR4 plate, gasket, no foam whatsoever. And we're using W1 diamond switches, the full travel version. This is really nice right off the bat. Pretty soft too because that 1.2 mil PCB. It's not as loud, maybe because it's an FR4 plate. FR4 kind of dulls out the sound. But it's a very pleasant tonality to the keyboard. Like it's not, the spacebar doesn't pop as something like that, right? I'm sure if this had the aluminum plate for the gasket, this might actually pop a bit more. I think the FR4 always is going to be that in between. So obviously plate choice will matter here. But for the FR4 plate that I'm usually not a fan of, I'm a fan of this. This is really nice. Really, keep silence. I'm going to be real. I think this sounds a little bit nicer than some of the other GrayStudio boards. Yeah, if this had a 1.6 mil PCB, I do feel like it might sound a bit fuller, but I absolutely do not mind having, like this doesn't sound bad at all. I'm curious what this would sound like with a long pull spacebar as well. So we're going to try that too. You know, I will say though, guys, if I had to choose between a 1.2 mil PCB and something with flex cuts, I'm picking the 1.2 every day of the week. We're going to try an Obscura here for this spacebar. Maybe we just need to, because the alphas are there. Maybe we just need the spacebar to kind of brighten up a little bit for people to take a look at here. Yeah, I think so. I think this spacebar brightening it up a little bit, not using a full travel. This kind of sets the tone for the keyboard a little bit better, I'd say. I would love to see this with the aluminum plate. I feel like the alu plate would, like this, to me, this sounds good already. I would love to see this with alu. The pogo pin's really nice in this too. So I guess let's do top mount now. Yeah, you gotta be a little careful when doing this, by the way, guys, in case you guys are watching back this video or something. The only reason I'm saying a little careful is because if you hit this the wrong way, these things move out of the way. What I do think really helps is potentially offering some sort of slot that these would kind of sit in so they don't move out of the way when you're doing this. Just some like cavity for these to kind of sit in. Here is going to be how it types and sounds like in the top mount config with the same switches and no foam. I still think it sounded better with gaskets. It's still nice though. A little bit of more of a metallic-y sound signature overall. Yeah, I also feel like maybe the PC plate would have slapped with this. I would still say this sound signature sounds good. I prefer the gaskets. I feel like the gaskets had more of a sound signature that I preferred, as well as the typing feel of the gaskets I felt was better. This is obviously your standard top mount. It's a bit stiffer. I really liked how these gaskets were kind of that in-between. Overall though, pretty nice offering from GrayStudios. Very, very nice. I mean, to me, they killed it with this. This looks really good as well. Price is right. In stock is also really nice to have as well. Cool colors. GrayStudios, they did slap with this one. See you guys. Love you and bye-bye. Love you guys.